countdown is on. California's March 5th primary, just 4 days away. You can vote right now. And there appears to be movement in the race for U.S. Senate. According to the latest Berkeley IGS poll, respected as one of the best in the state, Steve Garvey leading for the first time. Now at 27%, taking this top spot from Adam Schiff at 25%, although it's technically a statistical dead heat. Democratic Congresswoman Katie Porter appears boxed out of the top two in this. She's in third with 19%. So look at this. Hypothetical matchup. Remember, the top two advance regardless of party. If the top two are Schiff and Garvey in November, Schiff starts out 15 points ahead. He's at 53, Garvey at 38, about 8% undecided. If it is Schiff versus Porter, they're tied at 30-30 with 40% undecided. Clearly, she'd have a very good shot of beating him, which is why he's spending millions of dollars to try to not have that matchup. We are joined live now by political data analyst and Vice President of Political Data, Inc., Paul Mitchell, who knows the numbers in this state perhaps better than anybody else. What do you make of that poll? Is that a good poll?
Oh, it's a very, very high-quality poll. Mark DiCamillo used to be with the Field poll. He's kind of the grandfather of California polling, and he uses PDI data in putting together these surveys. And like you said, it does show for the first time in a public poll that Steve Garvey is ahead, although private polling by the campaigns have been showing this for a while. And it's really just a math problem. There's about 38% of the likely California voters that are going to be going to the polls in this election that generally vote Republican. And Steve Garvey has consistently been getting about 75% of that vote. And so if those voters turn out and Steve Garvey is the only Republican that we on this broadcast or other news coverage are actually focusing on, then he's going to be very kind of be gifted this, high 20s, maybe even 30% of the vote by the end of the day.
And there are, of course, other Republicans running, namely Eric Early, James Bradley, other folks as well, who have been a little bit more pro-Trump, but they are not getting the support according to these polls. You are the numbers guy. You run PDI. You are looking at who is voting. You've put up information every day, sort of looking at that. And let's talk about what we're seeing so far in terms of who's actually turning in their ballots.
Yeah, so 22 million voters received ballots. We're looking at less than 2.5 million having returned those ballots. But the real question is, who is that 2.5 million? And it is rather shocking. We have an electorate where there are equivalent numbers of, right here you can see, there are equivalent numbers of 65 plus and 18 to 34-year-olds. Both of those are 5.5 million people. But when you look at who's actually voted, we're at almost 2 million or almost 1.5 million seniors and less than 200,000 young people. It's this amazing change in the electorate from who's registered to who's actually voting. It's kind of a hall of mirrors effect where two groups go in the room at the same size, they come out the other side, and one is 6 times larger than the other. The influence of old people in this voting electorate, the influence of a larger share of Republicans, the influence of a diminishing share of Latinos in who's actually returning their ballots will have a big impact, a material impact on a lot of races, not just the U.S. Senate race, but every school board race, city council race, local ballot measure, statewide ballot measure. It's all impacted by this very distorted electorate that's showing up for Election Day.
And you think about it, Katie Porter and Barbara Lee were really depending on young people to come out and support them. Steve Garvey does better with older people who remember when he was a Dodger and a Padre and remember watching him there. A lot of young people don't have that association with Steve Garvey. And those folks so far are the ones that are getting out to vote. And that also could have an impact, Paul, on Proposition 1, which is the one proposition on the ballot. This is Gavin Newsom's big push to try to change mental health care in California, a $6.5 billion bond to build 11,000 mental health beds. All along, it looks like the polling has been really good on this, but that's starting to change, and the electorate not good for this.
Yeah, so this is a ballot measure that they could have put on the November ballot where you would expect a higher Democratic turnout, a lot more young people, and a more natural place for this kind of ballot measure to be very successful. But because the November ballot is expected to be so crowded, they decided to put it up in March in this primary. This is not the perfect electorate for a ballot measure that would spend more money, but it does seem as though it has a good enough level of support to be able to succeed in this March primary, despite the less than ideal electorate for a measure that would spend money.
So that's got to get 50% of the electorate to back it in order to pass. Paul Mitchell, thank you so much for all of the insight. You are the go-to guy for this stuff, and we appreciate you taking a few minutes to talk with us and educate us.
Appreciate you having me. Thank you.